Up+Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up+Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Happy Monday, and thank you so much for being Up+Adam. My name is Adam Montiel. What a gorgeous day. Cooler. Things are cooling down a little bit. Want to thank my friends at the Paso Wine Country Fanatics. They're a Facebook page. It's like 25,000 strong. And they had people fly in from all over the place for a whole weekend of festivities, including a wine tasting that I was asked to co-host with founder Mike Adams. It was a ton of fun. Little weather. I kind of enjoyed it. I dressed correctly for it, and as most people did, and a little sprinkles here and there, but it was good. It was, I think I might have kept a few people away, but there's probably 100-something people there. It was great. It was at Caliza, man, their new place, Caliza on Peachy Canyon. Just gorgeous. You feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, and it's like a mile outside of downtown. That's what's so crazy. You take 6th Street out of downtown, and all of a sudden you're like in the hills, just like that. So really, really cool spot. Who were other wines that were there? Loma Seca, Steve Beck, Alta Colina, Maggie Tillman, Don Burns from Turtle Rock, and then Ishka and Jacob Reyes from Guiomar. It was rad. It was really cool. Met some great listeners. Met some listeners who are already going to be going on our trip next year to Germany, Austria, Hungary on the Danube River with my friends at Epic Estate Wines and LXV. We're doing a whole trip. Going to be hosting that. Can't wait. It's in November of 27. More on that coming up. But people are already buying tickets on this boat. We need to talk about this. So I'll bring it to you soon. Met some people that are going on the boat trip. That was super cool. Met some people that listen to not just Where Wine Takes You, but Up+Adam. I met Rob and Jenny Vold, our Minnesota friends. He's the author who gave us his books money for the proceeds that he got in December to our Breaking It in Christmas. He was a huge donor this year, listener to both the shows, new friend, and it was just great to meet him, his wife, his niece in person. Just lovely people. So really cool stuff. It was a fun afternoon indeed. Okay, today's show, this is going to be a blast in the past, no doubt. She has been a part of our living room for decades. I mean, if you're anywhere, I'm in my mid-40s. I grew up with this gal. All right. What if the version of her you think you know is only half the story? From the iconic Brady Bunch, Jan Brady, to a 6-decade career that's spanned television, film, Broadway, even the art world. She's an incredible painter. Eve Plumb has lived a life that's far more complex, resilient, and surprisingly grounded than pop culture ever let on. Now she's got a new memoir called Happiness Included, Jan Brady and Beyond. And she's pulling back the curtain on what it really meant to grow up on camera under those lights and what it took to build a life beyond that. And here's a twist. This isn't a story about fame. It's about really identity, about a woman who admits fame was never the goal. And that's the thing with her. She was made famous by playing this insecure girl, but behind the scenes, very strong parents, very strong and disciplined, and good head on her shoulders. So, navigating those childhood stage lights to learning that being good at your craft matters more than being recognized for it. Eve Plumb is going to share a side of herself and the Brady Bunch that fans haven't really heard before. I was really excited to chat with her. Just a few minutes, you're going to meet her. Eve Plumb, Jan Brady, here on Up+Adam. Pretty cool. All right. And then later on this week, I'll tell you, we have a 2-parter with Benny from Benny's Pizza. And this is a great conversation because we're not just going to talk about how this incredibly popular pizza joint and social club in San Luis Obispo got started, got up, got big, got popular. but just like the entrepreneurial spirit in it. And if you're a business person or ever wanted to start a business, there's going to be some really good stuff in there. And we just kind of F around and have fun too. So it's a really fun conversation. It's like 50 minutes. So I think I'm going to do it in a 2-parter because it was fun. And it was very different, So I am excited. Benny from Betty's Pizza, he'll be on tomorrow. So before we get into Eve Plumb, though, a couple little nuggets of news here. The Coastal Commission just got checked. And some folks say this needs to happen a little bit more often. So this one's close to home, Los Osos, the coast, right? It's a case that just went all the way to California's Supreme Court. And they ruled, Coastal Commission, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. They overstepped. And not a little, like years of overstepping. Get to stepping from your overstepping. Getting sassy here for real. This all goes back to a local developer, 8 homes, approved by San Luis Obispo County, split into 2 phases, build 4 now, build 4 later, once the sewer was done. Oh, don't get us started on that story, right? Pretty standard. But then the Coastal Commission steps in and starts hitting pause again and again and again. First, we don't know when the sewer will be done. Then there's an endangered snail. I'm so sick of these stories like that. Every time the county said yes, the commission came back with a hell no. And this dragged on for years until the developer sued, lost, appealed, and finally took it all the way up. And this week, California Supreme Court, in a unanimous decision. Yeah, the court said, hey, that's not your job, Coastal Commission. You better come correct. Under the state's Coastal Act, local governments get to approve projects. How about that? And the commission doesn't get to rewrite the rules when it feels like it. This is being called a landmark decision, a major check on the Coastal Commission, who seems to just act like their power is just never ending. So yes, a major check yourself on the commission's power and a real big win for property owners along the coast. Supporters are saying this reins in an agency that has been pushing its limits for decades. Critics, well, they're worried this could open the door to more development along California's coastline. Again, there's all kinds of checks and balances. Either way, this one's big, and the California Supreme Court saying this is done by the elected officials over there, not you. So big story. Big story. All right. Speaking of the coast, let's talk a little bit about weather, because if you stepped outside this morning, you're like, did we go back to February? It has been cold a little bit, especially in the evening. Oh, last night was that Paso Robles Jazz Fest, the ending where it's at Sensorio. They have these 3 pianists playing jazz piano over the rolling hills. Even in the daytime when the lights weren't on, it was still beautiful, gorgeous. Got to sit with my friends, Kathy and Molly from SlowCal and Stacy Jacob from Solterra. It was so much fun. And to listen to these world-class, talented jazz pianists, just, oh man, so good. And then the end where like the lights are low, the sun is setting, and then it's all gone. And then you see these lights of these hills go infinitely out to the horizon. And this guy's just playing the piano. You're just like, what is life right now? It was really, really something special. But this weather, it's been cold. Like I just got a brand new wool jacket, like I'm in New York City, like it goes down to like my ankles, and I absolutely love it. It's like one of those, what do they call it? Like a Snuggie? It's like a Snuggie. It's not a Snuggie. I wouldn't show up to a nice event in a freaking Snuggie, but it's a nice wool jacket. You know, the buttons down the center. It looks pretty legit. And I've always wanted one of these jackets. So it was just perfect to wear on a night like that. But SlowCal's kicking the week off on the cool side. Talking clouds, a little gray. I mean, I'm looking at sunshine right now, so we'll see. It's going to be an off and on thing. Kind of like that leftover mood from a late season system. Some spotty drizzle early here and there. We've seen it. Even read an article that this drizzle is not good for our strawberries. Can make them mold easier, makes them less sweet. I mean, we still have, so now they just might taste like strawberries grown in other places, because you look at our strawberries versus others. I mean, our strawberries are like just light years above and better than anyone else is on Earth, really, I think. So, but yeah, even this kind of weird weather is affecting it right now. So good news, we're going to be expecting some warmer weather midweek. Things are going to clear up like it is. I mean, I'm looking right now. It's clouds, but it's blue. It's looking good. But we might be going back and forth. So what a weird kind of season, huh? From the beginning of March, where it was like 95 degrees to feeling like, February and rainy and chill, a little moody. So SlowCal still doing its thing back and forth, and we will keep you updated on the weather. Before we get into our chat with the one and only Eve Plumb, I'm super excited to have the Mountain Air supporting us here on Up+Adam. Fantastic people. They've been doing it since 1975, right there on Marsh Street, owned by Josh and Lindsay Herring, who were part of it long before they took it over. If you go in, I'd love for you, if you're on your phone, just follow them on Insta. Maybe a little comment saying, heard about you on Up+Adam. I'm here to follow you now. Or if you go into the store, let them know, hey, I heard about you on Up+Adam. Thanks for supporting local, and not just thanking them for keeping it local with who they serve, but really keeping it local with the dollars that they earn. And they're supporting us in local advertising. So we love them. TheMountainair.com is the website. Also, TheSwitchback.com, the website of their sister shop, The Mountain Air, San Luis Obispo.
It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, she is an icon of American television, forever etched into pop culture as Jan Brady from the Brady Bunch. Dun, 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 dun. But today, we're meeting the woman behind that frame, with a career that spans over 6 decades. From child star to stage actress to accomplished visual artist, Eve Plumb is now sharing her story in a way she has never before. Her memoir, called Happiness Included, Jan Brady and Beyond, offers a deeply personal look at growing up in Hollywood, navigating fame, finding purpose in the work, not the spotlight, but the work. I love that. Let's welcome Eve Plumb. Thank you so much, Eve, for being Up+Adam.
Oh, sure.
Now, you write about you've been called Jan for decades, sometimes by strangers, sometimes in moments that probably feel oddly personal, and yet you still say you've made peace with it. But when the world kind of keeps calling you by a name that isn't yours, how do you protect the parts of you that are yours?
Well, actually, I'm more concerned for the people that call me Jan, because usually they are so embarrassed by it. If I've just met somebody and they say, even Jan are very easy words to mix up. They're single syllable. And so somebody will have just met me and they will slip and say Jan or call me Jan. And then they're just so embarrassed. And so so I'm more concerned with how they feel, because it's such an easy thing to do and
Sure.
say, I'm not going to be offended by that, because I can't remember anybody's name at all.
Now, pop culture, Eve, turned Jan into this symbol of comparison. And over time, it almost became exaggerated, even comedic with the spoof movie, Marsha, Marsha, Marsha.
Right.
But behind that,
Right.
you're a real young woman growing up in a very public way. So I'm curious, were there real moments, either as an actor or as a young woman, where you did wrestle with things like comparison, imposter syndrome, jealousy, figuring out who you were while the world was kind of defining you for you, and you're doing it under lights and on camera instead of in private like most of us?
Right. Well, we all have our burdens to bear. I don't know. I managed to get through it. My parents are very, very strong and helpful people. And we all get through it sooner or later. I was just lucky to do it without too much drama.
Yeah. Well, you say in the book, and your story is fantastic, because while Jan was insecure, overshadowed, and always searching for her place, your story reveals a young person and parents who discipline, confidence, and a real sense of self early on. Was it weird to become famous for playing insecurity when you were actually really building strength behind the scenes?
It was just weird to become famous.
Yeah.
That's always just weird. And I was saying to somebody today, and I say to people or young people who's like, I want to be famous. It's like, you know what? Once you're famous, you can't go back. That's it. And being famous is not, it can be a job, but it's not a fulfilling one, surprisingly enough. You have to, what's fulfilling, or what you should I think, try to attain is being good at your job. Do you want to be an actor? Be a good actor. If you're famous or not, it doesn't matter as long as you're a good actor, a good painter. Make your work good, and then the fame will probably follow. And then you get to find out what being famous is really like.
Is there an episode where you might be flipping through, see something in syndication, and it's this one? I'm going to stick around for this one.
I don't stick around, but I might go, I remember that top.
Oh, is that right? I love that.
Yeah, that was a cute top. Yeah.
You take this hard left in your career, Dawn, A Portrait of a Teenage Runaway, and then suddenly America like sees you in a completely different light, darker, raw, complicated. Was that role kind of like a career move? Was it a personal declaration? Like, I need you to see me differently now.
I think so. I think that it wasn't spoken as much as it was a great opportunity. And I had auditioned and did a screen test back when they did screen tests. And so I feel like I won the role. But I mean, if you look at it from the outside, what a great idea. Let's take Jan Brady and put her out on the streets as a prostitute. But in the end, it was a great opportunity for me to sort of start entering the world of adult acting.
Yeah.
And I mean, acting as an adult.
No, sure. Yeah. Great distinction. Very good. The subtitle, Jan Brady and Beyond. It's really that beyond that feels like the real story that we're getting invited to. What part of your life, Eve, lived in that beyond space that you feel audiences have completely missed over the years?
Well, there's some personal things in there that I don't usually talk about, and that's what has taken a lot of determination on my part to be this open and pushing myself forward when I don't know that I'm an introvert, but I'm certainly happy to be an anonymous person that doesn't have to be, dressed up or doesn't have to be something for somebody that you're trying to guess what do they want. And I know that I might not hit it, might disappoint them just by answering a question.
It's, with painting, there's so many little different vehicles where our heart, our mind, our soul can be like expressed, and it can be somewhat to, subject to interpretation, and there could be like this, it could be these metaphors, and it could be very releasing. But when you are writing a memoir, they're words. Like we're telling, we're really putting it out there. Tell me the relationship between you and the editor. Hey, Eve, I need a little bit more, or I'm going to pull back on this. I don't feel quite comfortable letting people know or in on this. What was that bounce back and forth like?
It was mostly with Marcia, the co-writer, and she and I would decide whether we needed to add things, because I told her all sorts of things. She would ask me questions and I would tell her the stories. And, sometimes maybe it wasn't interesting. Sometimes it was like, that just doesn't jive with where we're going with this. So it's very interesting because this is the first time I've done it.
Yeah. Well, I just can't thank you enough, Eve, for all the years of the Brady Bunch and for being Up and Adam. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
All right, there she is, Eve Plumb. I wish I had more time with her. Some of these interviews, they go, okay, you got 7 minutes, you got 9 minutes. You're like, that's not enough time. And then I can sometimes do some finagling, and the people who I work with and get on these junkets with, they're often very good to me. They know we do some serious interviews here, and they often give me like 20 minutes. But with someone like Eve, she was way too in demand, and I just couldn't get that much time. So we got, it was quick, but I feel like we got a lot out of her. She was really good. She answered nice and perfectly too. When she knows she's only got 7 minutes, there you go. The book available tomorrow, comes out tomorrow. Links in the show notes. You can check it out right now. They're at your fingertips, so check it out. Thanks again, Eve Plumb, Jan Brady, for being Up and Adam. All right, looking forward to Saturday, May 9th. That is just around the corner. Downtown City Park, Paso. You ready for this? It is the Olive and Lavender Festival. Probably the best smelling festival ever. Got olive oils you taste and go like, oh, that's a hell of a lot better than we have at the house. So local farmers, little pop-ups, demos, it's free. So you end up staying a lot longer than you thought. It's you walk around the square, you hop on in, and you're like, oh man, this is cool. 9 to 4, again, completely free, downtown City Park, Paso. The Paso Olive and Lavender Festival, Saturday, May 9th, 9 to 4, completely free. And I thank them for being Up and Adam. All right, Monday, wrapping up the beginning of your week. We got some really fun interviews this week as well. We will be talking to Terry Banish. She's going to talk about the Tamale Festival in Atascadero. This is going to be my first interview recorded, Terry Banish, in the brand new Slow Cal Studios. Benny from Benny's Pizza this week, like I talked about earlier. So I am absolutely stoked. Cannot wait. So that whole transition we're going to be talking about this week, hitting that big. Also the return of The Pour. Been a little bit on hiatus with everything going on. A brand new episode of Where Wine Takes You is out right now. Talking about Paso Wine Month, which begins May 1st all over the country. Stores, restaurants, wine lists, all retail celebrating Paso Wine Month. We'll get to the people behind it and how everyone across the country is going to be saying the words Paso because of Paso Wine Month in just a matter of days. So really neat, lots going on. My other shows, of course, Where Wine Takes You, available wherever you're listening to this. And that new episode published on Friday, so go check it out. You remember The Pour. It's pretty much my spin on The Cork Dorks, which is a show that I started, produced, and just didn't own the name. So when I went independent, I just changed the name, but it's the same show. So The Pour coming up, a new episode, bringing it back, baby. Yeah. All right. Thank our friends at Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show, Start Again. Thanks to Josh and Chiasa Clapper for giving us the Timbre Lobro Studios. That was a figment in a chapter of this show that I will never forget. Taste their wines in the village of Arroyo Grande. And you can learn more about that at timbrewinery.com. And we will debut, maybe tomorrow, Visit Slow Cal Studios. That's where I'm recording. My studios are at Visit Slow Cal, where we're going to be coining it the Slow Cal Studios. And I am stoked. Love these people. Love maybe the potential for some more kind of projects with them. So we'll see how it all goes down. But we're recording. We're in. We're moved in, baby. It's on. All right. Till tomorrow. Hope you have a wonderful beginning to your week. Great day. I'm Adam Montiel. Thank you again for being Up and Adam.